Yeah man, greetings Rastafari, Hail Emperor the King Selassie the First, the Perfect Balance Empress Menin. This is first man for Rastafari Indigenous Village, recognizing, accepting, promoting Lion Voice. Yes, the voice of Rastafari, speaking about Rastafari, educating Rastafari, preserving, protecting Rastafari. Give thanks.
Aye, Rastafari, mighty.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega, representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari, live it. Hey, the lion's voice, Rastafari.
Blessed love, this is Ras Biah representing for the Lion's Voice. Seeing? Yeah, man. Keep it locked right there, sir. On to Zion we go. Lion Voice don't move slow, no. Rastafari rules and reigns, and we're going where the blessings flow. Keep it locked right there, sir. Seeing? Ras Biah said that. Lion's Voice.
I'm Nana Farika. The time has come for the lioness to tell her story from her viewpoint and tell the world who Queen Omega is. This is the lion's voice.
Greetings, this is Junior Morgan of Bob Marley and the Wailers. The time has come for the lion to tell his story. And we have here the lion voice. So listen in and get nourishment for the stomach and for the head cup. Jah,
Rastafari. Give thanks,
give thanks and praise every time.
Great honor, great honor.
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it takes the dust. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the lions to tell our own story. This is the Lion's Voice.
It's AWTITUDE representing for Lion's Voice. Yes, massive. This is the time for I and I, the lion, them to tell I and I story, our story. Yes, and we reign and rule like this. Reign and rule, yeah. Selassie, I reign and rule. You can't take the lion vibes, people. If you no fool, cause we know Selassie reign and rule. Reign and rule. Selassie, I reign and rule. Queen Omega drop them in the fire, pull from them, no Queen Omega, she reign and rule. Royal Kushite, ancient essence, Emperor Selassie in a majestical presence, flash of all sevens, projecting through I and I events. We sing a song for the king, we bring joy and blessing and overstanding, yeah. We hear Jah every day, hey. Reign and rule, yeah. Selassie, reign and rule. Yes, I lion vibes, Selassie, reign and rule. Attitude say that Boondocks, Black Organization of Global Diplomats optimizing expressions to the world. Till the world, till the end.
Well, Lion Voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion Voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion Voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion Voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion Voice.
Yeah. Rastafari. Emperor Selassie the First. Tell the people about Empress Menin. Well, even if the stars they fall and the moon turn into blood, but to the coming war we stand tall. I will shower you with my love. And even when the people start ball, cause they see the city streets them flood. But when the hurricane blow down their wall, I'll be by your side and me now both. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day. eye. Your love was a lifeline. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. Almighty, I made your light shine, and after that light was a lifeline. It seems like the world is upside down. I will never hide, I'd rather stand my ground. Lion of Judah blessed with the triple crown. Can't come fool I with no circus clown. Now fear no hurricane or the cyclone. Respect for Mama Earth with that embedded on me bone. That's why I will never leave you alone. Protect you from harm when the alarm sound. So even when the stars they fall and the moon turn into blood, through the coming war we stand tall. I will shower you with my love. And even when the people start mal, but they see their city streets them flood, when the hurricane blow down our wall, I'll be by your side and me not budge. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. The Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, your light was a lifeline. I think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. The Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, your love was a lifeline. They say hurt people, maybe that's why Babylon them so evil. Maybe Babylon abused as a child. Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I, glory and honor in the name of his chosen queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Bansu, aka the Chasmach Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man, creative industry attorney. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of Lion Talk Live. Welcome to Lion Talk Live, and welcome to the Lion Voice Network, where the lions are telling our own story. Greetings. Tonight, another historic episode. We are now officially in the countdown to the RMO Webathon, Hurricane Melissa relief, massive event. The thing is taking the world by storm. It's being shared across the world. If you have not seen it, I will share the flyer shortly. But this thing is massive. I am one of the organizers working with the RMO team, with all of the, right now it's 32 organizations coming together. This is unprecedented. At this scale, artists, luminaries. We have Prince Ermias, Dr. Julius Garvey. It's unprecedented what is really taking place, and we are praying. Rastafari, Pan-Africans all over the world are praying that this marks a line in the sand. A new era. One side, we're leaving the petty difference, all of the different bickering, the this and the that. We're leaving that on the other side. After February 1st, we are going into a new era. The rise, Armageddon, we all see it. We know what's happening. Watching the great, the Third World War unfold. Chaos, global chaos ensuing. The preparation, we're still in the lead up to an invasion of Iran. That's everything else that's happening. We have to keep our eye on that invasion of Iran. Why? Because I did a whole episode about it. When the Straits of Hormuz close, family, and the global oil production gets shut down, we've gone forward into the Asian time. The cost of gas increase, you can't drive, fuel, prices of food, everything gone way up. So the communities that are not united,
that are not working together are going to feel the pain. What comes after the fall? The Great Reset. And if I and I are not in position collectively to withstand, many will fall with this Great Reset. Many will take the mark and say, without the mark, they can neither buy nor sell. You might not be biblical, but you don't have to be a scientist to overstand that. They're getting rid of cash, fiat currency is going away. You know what I mean? We're already conditioned to use digital currency. You already have cases where people are being debanked, meaning that you wake up one day, you make a talk, and now your bank just drop you. You can't bank, you can't do anything. These things are happening, family, in real time for those who are watching. So we know where this story ends. We've sung about it from the early 60s, the 50s, the 30s, even, you know what I mean, the early Rastafari fathers prophesied and chanted of this very time. And so the INT is much more than hurricane relief and recovery. It's about I and I making a conscious choice to harness the power of Rastafari and to direct the capital and to develop ourselves in a way that we know. That means agriculture, Rastafari food sovereignty. You know, on this platform, we talk about these things. So any person in the Lion Pride who is a regular watcher of this channel knows what I'm talking about. This is not new. This is what we come and we talk about. We bring guests to highlight high-level reasonings on these things. So what happened with Hurricane Melissa, it actually gave us an opportunity to clean the slate. You know what I mean? We had some structures there, various quality. Lata zinc was there, you know, different things. Come and build according to their capacity. But now that the hurricane has cleaned the slate, so to speak, we have opportunity in Jamaica to create the Rastafari that we want to see. You know what I mean? That futuristic, Afrofuturistic, or Rastafari futuristic type of design, as you see exemplified in the Habisha Kazi project. And again, if you're a regular on this platform, you will know what Kazi is, the prototype. So everything that we talk about on this platform, there's no make-believe. This is not a make-believe platform. Everything we talk about here is happening. It's being actualized. It's in process. You know what I mean? And I just give thanks for the item coming on the journey. Big up the Lion Pride, because people are now waking up and seeing, okay, there's a platform there that is really chanting for I, and we're growing, you know what I mean? And I give thanks. We've just crossed 500 subscribers on TikTok. Big up everyone who, you know, we just launched the TikTok page. So for it to grow to 500 already, we have videos on there past, I think, 20,000. We give thanks because TikTok is the younger demographic, you know. YouTube, everybody is on YouTube. But TikTok, when you look at these other platforms, TikTok skews younger. So we give thanks to the younger youth, them getting a chance to tune into these high-level Rastafari Pan-African reasoning. So big up everyone. If you're not following us on TikTok, go follow us. Big up everyone who was following us on IG. We just launched the Lion Voice Network IG page. Not too much action over there, but we're going to start populating that with posts as well. So the whole ecosystem is expanding. And, you know, I do creative consultations and I advise people about creating your own ecosystem. And that's what we're doing. And the ecosystem, we tie it to individual and family sovereignty. If you want to be free, you don't want to be a slave to a 9-to-5, you don't want to be tethered where you're dependent on another person for your bread, which is a very precarious place to be. And many of I who have jobs are in that position. If you get fired from your job, how do you get your bread? One of the ways is having your own ecosystem based around whatever your passion is. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be Rastafari, Pan-African content. That's I'm passion. So I'm building my ecosystem around that. But your passion could be hat making, it could be a carpenter, it could be anything. So that's what we're doing, and it's multi-platform. YouTube is our main platform. Over 60,000 of the item have subscribed to the Lion Voice Network, and we give thanks. But this is beyond. Today, we actually are welcoming a brand new person in our Lion Pride on Patreon. Before we get into the episode, I want to just big up our newest member. We have our Ubuntu Lion Pride. So if you're new to the platform, then you will know that how we make this work is our Lion Pride on Patreon and our Ubuntu Lion Pride. So today we welcome Yah Hakeem Selassie Bey, who joined us today as a Patreon member. Big up all of the ones them. These are all ones who give their hard-earned dollars, every month that we can pay for the website, for this, that, the subscription, StreamYard, everything where you see Agwanya. So is through the Lion Pride on Patreon. Ubuntu Lion Pride, we have 16 members, $100 US contribution allows you to be a part of the Ubuntu. This is a lifetime distinction. When we get a physical studio, that's going to be a wall. We're going to make a wall where it will be emblazoned in the history, because we're taking this to the highest level. Don't feel like, say, Rastafari shouldn't have a world-class media. That's a part of being a free and sovereign people, is having our own media and controlling our own narrative. And that is also one of the reasons why what is happening with this webathon is so historic, because we also have a coalition of Rastafari media that has come together for this webathon. It is unprecedented, and don't believe I am going to play one of my brethren commercial. Let me add this.
Open your eyes and wake up now, my people. See what Hurricane Melissa did to my people.
My people, RMO, Rastafari Mansions and Organizations in association with DARK, EWF, CRO, RCC, IDOR, TRAN, Global Run present a fundraising webinar called Relief, Rebuild and Rise, the Rastafari community in response to Hurricane Melissa devastation of Jamaica. Sunday, February 1st, 2026. Time 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. UK time. This is not to be missed. Featuring Prince Ermiah Sehel Selassie, Dr. Julius Garvey, Sister Carol, Julian Marley, Rocky Dohoney, Empress Sativa, Gramps Morgan, Kabaka Pyramid, Yami Bolo, Muta Baruka, Janine, Spraga Benz, Riza Islam, Priest Kailash, Dr. Bobby Holistic. This is in aid of rebuilding Rastafari centers as hub for relief, recovery and resilience. As His Majesty say, we must become something we have never been. Greater in spirit, larger in outlook. Most High, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. See you there.
So that was Ija Star. You can subscribe to him on YouTube, another content creator. He's one of the foundation, him and Honorable Priest Isaac, some of the foundation Rastafari media platforms on YouTube, you know what I mean? So we do give thanks for their contributions. And this media collective that is working together to put on this webathon, this is only the beginning. It goes beyond the webathon. Again, I think history we'll draw a line in the sand. Before this, the petty differences, the separate approaches, with this hurricane, we see that unity, you know what I mean, is being manifested where it's beyond any of us. And our guest tonight, he's been out in the devastation. He had a farm in St. Elizabeth. He's going to tell us about what he witnessed, what he saw. We're going to get into all of that. He's also been one of the frontline brethren from the RMO, Rastafari Mansions and Organizations, that has been going out, doing the mapping, care packages, all of these things. One of the things that is historic about this, that the RMO has done that no other Rastafari All Mansion has done, is really, you know what I mean, what Rastafari has done is in terms of mapping, having teams go out, actually talk to people who have been impacted by the hurricane, getting their information, what are their needs, what are the priorities. And the mapping is so crucial because when we're doing fundraising on this scale, we can't have all of this money and then we don't have the data to back it up, so that we make sure that the money is being spent where it's most needed. And then just for resilience as a community, if we're saying that Babylon, or the governments of the world is not dealing with Rastafari affairs in the right way, then who is? You know what I mean? How are we taking care of ourselves? I always say no one is coming to save us. I say that to the IDM, don't. No one is coming to save us. So we have to start acting appropriately. If that is the case, that no one is coming to save us, we have to act appropriately. So we pray the tender mercy of His Imperial Majesty. Bless this effort. Again, unprecedented when it come on to Rastafari working together. We really do pray. It is just a great strength for I and I. Hold on one moment here. One moment here. But yes, I really do give thanks for all of the ones them who have been reaching out to I and I. The unity has been unprecedented. No bad energy, you know what I mean? Give thanks and big up also Dark Diaspora, Africa Rastafari Congress, Dark Foundation, that's coming on board to help manage the U.S. Contributions that are coming in. And again, Rastafari charitable organizations working together at a high level, you know what I mean? It's such a joy to really see the fullness of what is happening. I really just have to tell the item that my heart is full. I don't think I'm going to get any proper rest until February 1st, because there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes. You know, and Lion Voice Network, we are one of the media platforms, so we'll be bringing some exclusive interviews here. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed to the platform. And this is, again, one of the reasons that I created this platform, is to be able to bring this strength when these type of events are happening. You know, make sure that the global family is fully aware of what's happening. You know what I mean? Is a serious thing. You know what I mean? Hold on one second. It says, and big up yourself, Ben B. Berg. Big up yourself. He said Fire Bunny was asking if there was a committee with the orgs and the artists, along with actual people from the ground, to make sure the money gets spent correctly. And we're going to address that. That's a very good question. You know what I mean? We're going to address that. And the transparency, the accountability that's happening right now is, again, one of the other unprecedented parts of financial oversight board is going to be put in place. So it really, You know what I mean? Is Rastafari people just finally just saying, you know what, is we are adults, we are big people, we are heads of family, we are going to do the thing properly. Because remember, we have Rastafari in all facets of life right now. It's not like one time. We have Rastafari accountants. We have Rastafari this, that, all over the world. So we reach a stage, a maturity as a livity, as a movement now, where we have to do these things ourselves. We have to govern ourselves. You know what I mean? I always say we will never get repatriation, reparation until we can demonstrate that we don't need it. That is the irony. Government doesn't give you things because you deserve it. You know what I mean? You get it because you lobby, you negotiate, you have leverage, and you exert. You know, governments only respect power. That is how government work since beginning of time. So we can't be naive and think because you write a nice letter that, and I'm an attorney, but just because you write a nice letter, you know what I mean, that the government heartstrings and then they give you what you want. That's not how the world works. And we're seeing that. We did a whole episode about the death of international law and the fact that the world is running on the law of the jungle right now. So if it's jungle time, the lions, Afi, stand up. So big up Jaboni, a foundation, Martimo Plano son, you know what I mean? All of the elders, them who paved the way, nothing but love, honor, and respect to them, you know what I mean? They want to see better, you know. That is the thing we have to over. Even the critics, the man them we are born the hot fire, they just want to see something. It's just that they may not have the blessing to execute that judgment and bring it forward. So what they can contribute is their voice, you know, their criticism. And the thing that I say though is that we cannot make the criticism stop the work. We will make mistakes. We cannot fear making mistakes and make that because a man I go point out your mistake, you don't try. You know what I mean? That is where we go wrong. These Asians, remember they take baton beating, you know what I mean, stand up on the battlefield for His Majesty, you know. So they want to see the great for I and I. So we have the responsibility. I come as the generation of them that seek Him, that seek the eye face. By the time I born His Majesty, there's no His Majesty physically on any throne anywhere. We not get taught that in the school. We have to come back up that on the road. So we are the generation. It's for I generation working with the ones who came before us to build the institutions and the development. So that is where we are. Before I bring forward the guest, I see him there waiting patiently. Big up Frontline Books, Raseku. We're working on a tribute to Shango Baku, one of our legendary Asians of days. We're trying to get a panel discussion of ones who knew him. Again, Rastafari, independent, non-aligned media, this is our duty. These legendary ones trod up into the ancestral realm. Afi take time so that the people them know them. So stay tuned for that. Hafi have Ras Kabinda upon that show there. So we're trying to just arrange all of the schedules. Stay tuned. Also, we are going to be doing a whole range. Remember, the whole March is all Rastafari Woman All Month, Women's History Month. Empress Men and Panel will be coming forward. Black History, Reggae Month, beer things are going. They them know that. Big up Wally King's design, the logo, everything. All of the flyers you see for the RMO event, that's Wally King's design. Big him up, one of the great graphic artists within the Rastafari global family. Big up all of the media, Rastafari TV, all of the media, iYard Radio, all of the media, Masani Production, Ubuntu, Honorable Priest Kailash, everybody who's coming together. It's we call name a 32 name we can call coming together to make this thing work and amplify the message. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I'm putting out 7 million. I want 7 million raised. I think Rastafari can do it. You know what I mean? If we raise 500, we still give thanks. You know what I mean? But I put out that number there in the universe says 7 million, you know. If it come forward to 500, you know, we still humbly accept. But at the same time, we're putting it out there. We've never seen any anti like this. So we're gonna see the powers, you know. All right. Housekeeping out of the way. We are gonna bring forward our guest for the evening. Our guest is a farmer. Our guest is one of the founding members of the RMO via his organization, the Canna Cure, and we're going to learn more about Canna Cure. He does Ital herb, Ital ganja, but also Ital food, you know what I mean? Sacramental, part of the Raga, Rastafari and Grassroots Association, founding member as well. Just one of the brethren them who is a frontline soldier, one of the brethren them who is also now serving as one of three chairs of the RMO. So he's one of the brethren who chairs the meeting, make sure the meetings run appropriately, helps to craft the agenda, doing so much work for His Majesty right now. Lion Pride, help I to welcome the great Ras Biah. Royal blessings, Ras Biah.
Royal blessings, the king, give thanks, you know.
There, I can put your phone this way. And put it on auto rotate.
Yes.
Highly, right, that's all. Right, that's
yes,
all.
Sir.
Mightiful. We didn't get a chance to do a little technical, so we do it. But my audience is patient. The Lion Pride is patient because we know the reasoning is all night. We're gonna bubble the pot tonight. Can the eye, that light, overhead light, is it possible to either turn it off or re-angle so that the light?
I can get it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're
man.
working on it. Yes.
It's better now.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Where is the eye currently? Where in Jamaica is the eye currently?
Right now, I in St. Catherine, Jamaica. A place called Time and Patience.
Okay.
In St. Catherine.
Yes.
At the Canna Cure Rastafari Foundation.
Okay. Give thanks. Well, before we get into our topic of tonight, of course, the historic Webathon, we're going to talk about it. But before we get there, I was trying to get Ras Biah. The last time I was in Jamaica, I and Ras Biah on the phone, and I try get out to where he is. It never worked. I think Barrel did pass through them time there, and one bag of something, so we never get to manifest.
Definitely.
Yeah, we never get to manifest. So now that I have the eye on the platform, I have to ask the eye to step into the Lion Talk time machine and to bring us to the eye birth and to tell us where the eye trod from and what was the eye journey to Rastafari.
Give thanks, my virgin, because they give thanks and praises. First of all, I must say, give thanks, you know, to His Imperial Majesty Emperor Ras Biah, you know what I mean? And Empress Menen said speed. I give thanks to my family. I give thanks to the Rastafari community said speed, and I give thanks to all supporters of the Rastafari community and, you know, the works that I do. Yeah, man, I stem from Linstead, Jamaica, you know. And I rise up in them section of Jamaica there. You know, and I see a whole lot of, you know, things up around I where, you know, it give I the power, both positive and negative. That give I the power to tread in some different type of ways. You know what I mean? And I move on from them communities, then I went to St. Diego High School. doing track and field, and I rise up in track and field to a particular way that I could have set some great records in track and field set speed, even some international records at pen relays, and I brought a team to pen relays and leave a record there for when I was 19 years old. So I see
Okay.
greatness from the earlier days, and I know that greatness is there to achieve in every way. I mean,
Okay.
so but coming forward to the Rastafari vibration, I leave Jamaica, to a scholarship, athletic scholarship, and I reach
Okay.
America, and based on everything when I learn in Jamaica, like the Caribbean history. I mean, them
Yes.
teach the Caribbean history at school, especially the high school level. And I did love the history. I love to know what go on, and I really and
Yeah.
truly during learning the history at the later part of high school days. I find that I could have find I myself where I come from. I mean, I see the journey of the ones them, the ones them in a Jamaica and around. Well, them time that's just Jamaica still, but I see the
Okay.
ones them moving around, and I always wonder where I come from to be here, and you see the
Yes. Yes.
struggle.
Yes.
And I used to see the
Where
Rastafari
where in
ones them out
America?
there,
Where in America was the eye? Where in America was the eye?
yeah, I was in New York. I was in New
Okay.
York most of all.
The great
Yeah,
city.
I went to man. Yeah, man. That's true, man. Everything,
Yeah, man, the
I
city
mean,
that
yeah.
the
So
whole
and
world
I went
love.
to yeah, man. Definitely, definitely. Give thanks. Yeah, but as I said, moving towards Rastafari, the lessons that I learned, and I went to America and I moved forward to try to study the history, of the American movement, said speed, and I try to study the history of the European movement. So I see where, the African ones were placed in positions where, I mean, it wasn't for themselves, it wasn't the perfect place for them, based on the different things and I got to go see in terms of, the separation of ones because, how you look and, your color coming from the earth. So I just did look upon it and remember in my journey coming through and she said I wasn't the perfect man. Yeah, I mean, to live a fancy life, to say, well, then, boy, I reach. So I did drop back to the Rastafari ways,
Okay.
which I did know from morning, the whole levity, the love, yeah, I mean, the togetherness, yeah, I mean, them type of thing, then the Rasta, no matter how him get abused, him still a show love. Yeah, I mean, so it's either I could have go in a direction where you get abused, but you come and you fight back in a way where you maybe abuse back someone else, but it wasn't like that. It was choosing a path where you could have feel free for reason, and the reason come more vertical, the reason not come because I want to look something or I look something for I want, but it's a uplifting reason all the time. You know what I mean? So them journey they bring out to Rastafari, in the early days, so that's where I start out maybe, when I was maybe about 24, 25 them days,
Okay. So when you went to America, you didn't have locks that time.
No. Never had locks. I went there on a track and field journey. It
Okay.
wasn't about that. But I did have the thing and I soul
Your
from
heart.
morning. I just
Yes.
yearning for that vibration,
So
Yes, sir.
when did you start to really start Span with divinity of His Imperial Majesty? What was that like? Separate from the culture. When did you? How old were you? And what was that moment when you said this man of that divinity then?
Say, and I did. This is now after I finished college and everything. I go out on the street and one day I look at an apartment to live in, and I go to a real estate virgin, and the virgin a reason like a Rastafari virgin, but it wasn't like, you know, clad as a Rastafari virgin. But on the virgin wall, there is a picture of His Majesty and a whole part of things around His Majesty, just the whole war of, you know, a kingly, a royalness, and I couldn't stop looking on the picture virgin. I was like, you know, man, really, you know, different. You know what I mean? Then I start looking into it, and one of the first book I read was the Kevin August, and I really and truly deeply look into this book, and I see some type of power in this book. And from then on, I read the book, and I go back and I read the Bible, and you know, I see where the book meet the Bible and where the Bible meet the book, and I see how His Majesty come from this ancient order. Yeah, I mean, you know, it come out at this ancient order. So all the things that are happening on earth right now is that this man surpassed all of these things with the power when I come to earth with from the time of David, even before I come to and I say, yeah, them type of power man I roll with. And I start study His Majesty on a whole different level part, and I just study, you know, what going on Ethiopia and, you know, Africa to a greater extent, said speed. So, yeah, I mean, so I put a different sparks in my life, yeah, I mean.
Give thanks. And then also, Empress Menen, where did the consciousness of Empress Menen come in? Because for many people, that was a later kind of revelation. You know, you learn about His Majesty first, and then, yes, she found same time, but, you know, me noticed recently more ones are try learn more. When was that for the eye or that consciousness of Empress Menen and the balance?
Well, around the same time, and I grew up in a family, you know, with mother and father, and I, you know, brother and sister, sensitive, and that love that it was so genuine, and I come and I see, you know, what for ones, you know, fatherless, motherless, you know, single parent, and these things, you know, and I see how His Majesty was a family unit, I mean, and that was something else, and I really and truly have looking for how Empress Menen hold this man strong. I mean, that was one of the things which was amazing, and you know, this is also a lesson, you know, for I, you know, how to maybe sometimes in a family, hope things happen as a man. Sometimes you feel like, why, hope you face these things, you know, the week you run, you know what I mean? But when you think about how his Majesty and Empress Menen demonstrate, you know, a family unit and a strength of how an empress can hold forward a king and the man do his work and become who he is in this time. It makes you know, say, you know, a strong man deserve a powerful woman said speed, or vice versa, a powerful man deserve a strong woman. Yeah, I mean, so that was the case, and I see how, you know, Empress Menen keep this man powerful through his days, and then become this great man even to I and all that all hosts of ones across the earth, said speed. You know, to see that, you know, you have different rulership and different ideology in our earth in this time. But when you think about, you know, Empress Menen and King Selassie within, within time pass, and even the examples where them set to know and time to come, it is the perfect liberty and the perfect balance. You know what I mean? So I do give thanks, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man, it's mightyful. It's mightyful. I want reason with the eye. The eye is a perfect man. Reason about the Isle of Sacrament. There's a little bit of feed forward. I don't know if that's coming from the eye, Mike, but talk to us about the herb ganja. You know, when did the eye grow to get this appreciation of? For those who don't know, Ras Biah is one of our greatest when it comes on to growing of ganja, lamb's bread, all these, you know what I mean, creating medicine, Ital standard. He's one of the members of the Ital certification committee. Talk to us about ganja. When did I grow to know love this plant, and where did I learn about this plant?
Yeah, you know, sir, and you know, face a whole lot of things within the ganja arena. I mean, And I did have to suffer a little bit, in terms of, going to do some time because of ganja set speed. But
Okay.
ganja to and I was, ganja to and I was something else. I mean, I used to, my father, used to take a drive with so often, and that fragrance was, as a youth, was something else. It gave you a different feeling. It just lifts you up on a whole different level. And when you smell that thing, when I used to smell that thing, I was like, it's a different heights. Maybe I can't explain now, but coming forward and dealing with ganja is like, it's a need for once. And I, at an early stage, knowing ganja users, I used to always wonder why ones use ganja, and over time I find out that, ones I go through trauma. I mean, there's a lot of trauma that one can do where ganja kind of soothe them on a whole different level. It keep them from being violent, being mentally disturbed all the time, and just being balanced. I learned that. So coming forward, even to know, and I relationship with ganja is, I use the herb. I mean, I use herb for different reasons. I make certain different type of medicine with the herb. I use the herb in its entirety, I should say. Now, I see one's planting the herb. I've been to different ganja farms and I see one's plant the herb. And as a user for the herb, I never pleased, to how maybe one's used to do this. And this come from a conventional way of cultivation where, the fertilizer and the pesticide, the insecticide, the herbicide, all these different side. I mean, it take a different type of tool like mine and mind when people say, I have to go use some herb with some lanite. I see man put that thing with him, lanite is a dangerous poison. I see man mix up and spray lanite herb, and it's so serious that, to I as a user, I decided to listen, I have to go deeper into how, herb is dealt with. So I start and I start the journey of, the whole natural Ital farming of the herb and food maybe about 8, 9, 10 years ago.
Okay.
I mean, as I used the herb before, I do everything with the herb, but my personal journey in terms of, demonstrating how, organic or Ital vibration could have worked, it was very difficult. And once, come forward and see I do it and laugh because it's not the perfect at the first instance. And I decided, stop it, make you go down to nothing because you spend until there's nothing left because you don't get the perfect thing. I read every book about ganja and still never get how to do it. I mean? So this final time when I think, say, listen, this have to work, something wrong. So I look around and I look on the mango tree and the guinea tree and the apple tree and I say, but all them tree they always taste so green. I mean, them not lose them look, unless I like a different season of the year, you might see leaf drop or something coming right back set speed. The fruits come on. And so I said, listen, the ganja African grow up a certain natural way. So I start tap into how, the natural way of, earth, or the soil work, or the earth work, or the mycelium work, or the fungus them work, or the bacteria them work, or the microbes work. I mean? So I tap into that very deeply and find out that you have different ways so you can enhance growth, or you can do different things naturally. So I get different I get the different nutrients from different plant-based products, like, you want enzyme, you look for some papa, you want potassium, you look for some banana, you want, calcium, you look for a thing we call gypsum. I mean, and these things are all natural, I mean. So we look for the natural enhancer for the plant in terms of the nutrients that the plant might want, and delivering it to the plant. So I learned that, and over time it was a blessing, I can say I almost perfect the game of doing Ital, and one of the most important things in doing an Ital growth is how, it make your compost, and you get your compost, make it over time, and it break down. In different type of compost. Compost are doing different type of nutrients and for different purposes. And these composts that just become almost soil again, and you use these composts to plant your plants in, move the earth, and you maybe add it to your soil, and the plants can grow perfectly. We find different ways of control pests, and these things naturally. So this is what I do at Canna Cure Rastafari Sanctuary,
I
and I,
was just gonna ask you to give us
do
the
the full
history.
creation of the jacket.
I was just gonna ask the eye to give us the history. Try taking off your mic. Your sound, the audio is not the greatest. Let me see if you turn off the camera, if you will sound better. Talk now.
Yeah, I sound better now.
It's a little bit better. Let me know in the comment section. I know the audio is not the best. We're gonna try to do the best that we can. I would love to see the brethren, but if it sounds better with no camera because of the Wi-Fi, let us know in the chat. Because the brethren have blocked some key sound, the farmer them are take notes. Because the Ital is so crucial, and I don't think a lot of people who use herb know the type of poisons and pesticides that are being used on the herb, So sometime when you talk about herb and mental illness, a man a smoke herb that was sprayed with all type of pesticide and poison, you know what I mean? So, and then the herb get the bad name. So let me see. Ben B. Berg say him audio robot bad sound like witness protection program, and there is a comedian, Ben B. Berg. Bad Benny Berg. We have some funny Lion Pride too, we all enjoy that one thing here on the Lion Pride. Big up on yourself. I'm a global family. We're gonna make the best of it. It's not the best audio, but you know that the brethren is blocking some key sound. I can turn forward the camera because it don't look like the lack of camera go save the audio. I would have still love CDI. Yeah. Would have still love CDI same way, But yes, I blocked some key sound, you know what I mean, in terms of the Ital and the importance of the Ital. Give us the history now of Canna Cure Sanctuary, because the name, where did the name come from? The whole concept, the brethren sells compost teas, all kind of packages for Ital growing. So it's one of the key architects of the Ital standard on the ground there, along with many others. But he has, done his trial and error and come up with his own unique kind of system. So give us the history of Canna Cure.
Yes, I give thanks and my apologies for the sound, the audio, but I always try to share as much as I can, for the audience. Let's speed. We give thanks to the patients. Yeah, man, but yeah, Canna Cure, as you said, has been happening for a very, very long time. Even before, we should have said the not legalization, but whatever is happening now in Jamaica, like the Rastaman can get a little freedom to plant, But after that, Canna Cure became a little bit more, established in certain way. But I brother has been planting herb at this foundation for a very long time, many years. And I come forward and see the ones them doing that, and my brother decided saying that he want to take a journey to North America. So I just decided to continue the journey. It's about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And that's when Canna Cure actually came up to the forefront of doing what we're doing now. So about 10 years ago, as I said, we started the journey in terms of wanting to put in Ital products. Yeah, I mean, products that was not tainted with fertilizer or pesticides and these type of thing. So that journey started, and the journey started not because I really and truly wanted to make a bag of money. Not that. It was just to demonstrate that we can plant the herb, deal with the herb on a whole different level, on a conscious level, not giving one herbs to use, which is not good for them, especially because even from I start putting I self together as Canna Cure, many ones come with different type of ailments. One come with epilepsy, ones come with different type of pain, back pain, shoulder pain, mental health, one with different ailments, and doctors recommended for them, that cannabis would be good. But then the doctor recommend, but him don't really overs everything, because I remember his training wasn't about cannabis. But because certain unique ailments, and the international community has to, well, herb could have helped you. I mean, them find themselves just so, and it wouldn't be nice for I to give the ones them something where, have all these different pies. So it was a great journey to see Canna Cure come forward, within the space, the ganja space, to introduce what Ital ganja would have been, in this time. And I want to tell you, funny enough, a lot of ones, most of the ones now, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, these ganja communities observe the italness. We can see the organic or the italness of ganja, because them see the importance. You know the difference when you see the ganja where the chemical and something go on, you smell it. You know what I mean? So the ones them start to say, well, to be accepted, especially in the sacramental community, you have to go, Ital organic. Many ones are doing this now. When I just started 10 years ago, it was like I one time I run out of herb and go up on the road to see if I could find some herb could have matched the profile. I couldn't find none. So that spark I start teach the ones and say, no, now start putting yourself together on an Ital level, because this is where people sick. You know what I mean? And people need herb when they're sick, and you can't deliver herb where, upon a certain level to the ones them. And the ones them take it on, and now in Jamaica, what for one? Only one lot of ones, where you go now, you hear about Kush, or how you go to Kush, it have been, Ital Kush. Yeah, so it's a vibe. You know what I mean?
And it's so important
That Canna Cure.
And it's so important because Rastafari championed that, suffer the brutality for that, and the culture has to be preserved in its pure form, which is that medicinal. When we talk about sacramental, it's not just, we don't deal with recreational herb. That's one thing in Rastafari. We don't deal with that term, recreational. It's a holistic vibration, spiritual, where we would have said iritical, physical, the goodie. And the great thing about it is that our elders didn't know anything about the endocannabinoid system that every human being has in their body. They didn't know about the receptor sites for THC and endocannabinoids are naturally occurring in the human body. But they knew that this was the healing of the nation, and they paid the price. You hear the brethren say he was incarcerated for the herb. So these are part of Rastafari's story when we talk about the Webathon in a little while, and the efforts of the RMO. We want to make it clear that Rastafari is not out there begging. This is a call for solidarity. What Rastafari has gone through, what we have endured. And one of the things that we're going to talk about is that the work is already being done. I saw someone in the comments talk about the grassroots. That work is already being done. People are out there in the streets, mapping, getting information, sending out care packages. That work is being done. So we want to make it clear. And that footage, some of that footage will also be highlighted at the Webathon so that ones can get up to speed and see that RMO has already been working since the storm started. Ras Biah is one of the people. He's going to talk about some of his efforts and what he's done. But before we get there, talk to us about Raga. You know, what is Raga? Because you talk about what the eye has done, but the eye is not by yourself as an individual. The eye is a community-minded brethren, and you have connected with others. So give the people who are not familiar a little history about Raga and how Raga rise now.
Yes, sir. Give thanks. Yeah, man. Raga, the Rastafari and Grassroots Ganja Association. Yeah, the Raga, you know, has been put together by I Rastafari virgins and sisters, you know, from early days. This is after the amendment of the Dangerous Drug Act in 2015. So I saw a need and what Section 7C and the amendment says about Rastafari not
All right.
Rastafari not.
All right. Wi-Fi the guy make an appearance. We take risk over here anytime we have guests from Jamaica calling in or anywhere in the Caribbean. We take risks with the live, but we are patient and we have built an audience around the globe that know when you come over here, this is not the hype channel. This is not where you're going to get controversy and man cuss them one another and we are talk about people. This is the channel where you're patient and some high level reasoning. That's the brand that we're building here. And big up everyone who has been supporting the uprising of the platform. So I give thanks for the patience. Let me look at some of the questions. Big up yourself, David Sebastian, one of our Ubuntu Lion Pride, asked the question, is the use of seedless herb good for I versus herb with seed? I'm going to ask Ras Biah when he comes forward, when the Wi-Fi. Ras Biah? Greeting? All right. We're working on it. We're working on it. Let's go through some of the other comments in the meantime. Give some chance. Let me clear. Ras Biah, come out and come back in. Drop the call and then come back in with the link and see if it worked better that way. So come out and then come forward and see if you get a better connection. All right, so let's look at the comments. How do you feel or what do you think about Jaboni? Bro Kumi's son urging caution about transparency for the Webathon and questioning the claim of Rasta unity with commercialized reggae artists. I think I spoke about that, but I want to talk about commercialization. I know it's a thing. We have to make a distinction between commerce, trade, business, people doing business, and being commercialized, which would mean that you're completely gone against your own principles and your motives and you're doing something else. What we are doing now is commerce, because this is not, I'm not trying to build a volunteer network. We're trying to build a business here to have a fully functioning Rastafari media operation. That's why I appeal to the Lion Pride and these things. So we have to be careful because some of these things.
I don't think I can hear anything from what's happening.
Yes, greetings. Can they hear us?
No audio on my side.
No audio? Try again. Can you hear us? 1, 2, 1, 2. You hearing anything? Heights. We're working on it. Our audience is
No
patient.
audio. No.
No audio. Go out and come forward again. Let me send a message. We're working on it, family. All right, we're working on it, family. Go out and come forward. Go out and come forward. Go out and come forward. But yeah, in terms of commercialization, you know,
I'm the masa
commerce.
pati yeah, dia gan minano. Saya mete fana interview pati dia gan minano.
Greeting. Try. Okay. Let's try. Let's try to recalibrate. Yeah. So the INT, you know what I mean? Commercialization, and I haven't watched Star video. I know he did a video on commercialization, so I'm just blocking Iman sound. An artist was making money, who is in his principle, there's nothing wrong with that for I. You know what I mean? They should work with the community, give thanks. You know what I mean? I've been on both sides. I'm in the music industry. I've been in the music industry as an executive in the music industry, one of the founders of Jamaica Music Conference. So I know more than most people when it comes on to the music side. And what we have to understand is a lot of artists have also given to grassroots community, and a lot of time the grassroots is not ready to really harness the artists on the level. So it's not that the artists are not willing. And to be fair, we can't expect an artist is an artist. Sometimes a man is just creative. His gift is not community organizing, is not putting together. Some of them are foundations, and we give thanks for that. But we can't put too much on these artists. I prefer that we as a community get our act together, and then we can strengthen. We can reach out, and the artists play their part, which is to be an artist, to be a voice. Everybody's stay in their lane. Hold on, greeting. Okay. All right, let me bring you forward. All right, listen. All right, we're working it out. So, that's my sound. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that there are not commercialized artists or that artists don't sell out. Don't get me wrong. However, again, we can't confuse commerce with commercialization, because we need to make money. We need businesses that make money, or else we don't have any power. We can't employ our children. You know what I mean? We're here talking, and then somebody else is doing festivals with red, gold, and green, and we don't have our own festival as a Rastafari community, and we have the whole of the artists that people come to see. It don't make sense. Big up Sister Masani and Rastafest in Canada, Rastafari own. Big up Tony Rebel and Rebel Salute, Rastafari own. But they're individuals. Where's the community festival with all of these artists? So we have a lot of work to do. You know what I mean? And we have to get beyond thinking that just because man is making money, he's commercialized, or that is a bad thing. Like it's a bad thing. We want people to go out there, make money, so that they can invest forward. They have the money to strengthen. One of the reasons why this is not the number one channel on the planet, or that we don't even have 50 monthly subscribers, is a lot of I and I are living hand to mouth in reality. You know what I mean? So we have to rise, you know what I mean, as a collective economically. And that economics is going to allow us to build the schools, the hospitals, the health centers. All of these things cost money. The building of Zion costs. You know what I mean? Unmute thyself. I
Yes,
say
I give
start
thanks.
now and let's. Okay, you sound better
Yeah,
too.
man, give thanks. My apologies. I don't know, technologies go more time. Technology just, treat it a certain type of way. But give thanks, that we could have reconnect. You know what I mean? Give thanks to the
You
brethren, give
sound
thanks to
crisp
the,
now.
the
Yeah, man, you
listeners,
sound crisp. You sound crisp. You sound crisp. So, I was giving us the history of Raga.
Yeah, so maybe it's a blessing.
Yeah, give us
Yes,
the
sir.
history of
So,
Raga.
and
Yeah.
continue. Yeah, Raga. Yeah, Raga's, right, give thanks. Yeah, Raga came about, I mean, one of the reason why Raga came about is to inform the ones of their rights, the Rastafari and grassroots ones in Jamaica of their rights. When the amendment came out with Section 7C, that says Rastafari Rastafari, was exempt from all the laws that was placed on ganja after the amendment. It really wasn't clear to many ones, but Rastafari have this opportunity right now to deal with ganja on a whole different level. Now, Raga came through to have the ones them understand what their rights were, the Rastafari ones out there who are farmers and the likes, within the ganja industry. Raga came forward and get the ones them attached to a system where, the ones who get their identification cards and to identify themselves of, who they are, they're Rastafari, a part of the community, or their grassroots who come forward to assist the Rastafari ones to achieve the goal of what, of having this herb. So Raga both, represent at a level, the governmental level, interfacing with the Ministry of Justice, who is responsible for all that is happening, within the sacramental arena of ganja, which is the Rastafari ganja said speed. So, we love it to the government. There was still problems, even though the law says that we are exempt. There were still problem of police, going to the one's place, taking away their ganja, confiscating their equipments and all of this. These things were happening and even still happening, but not as much because Raga has established, a way how, the ones them can be protected. So all these works over years Raga has done, to protect the ones them. Raga go to the community, find the ones them, right now we have a list of maybe over 200 names and spaces where ones operate in cultivation of ganja and a sacred space where ganja is, distributed to the community. Right, so we have a list of these ones, and any problem come up, Raga will be there to assist. Raga has represented the ones them, and as I said, there's still issues of, ones, the officers, the police officers are not clear of the law, and they still go in and lock up the ones them. So Raga now would represent the ones them in court. One of our latest case was a case with a virgin, one of our members, they went there and took away, over almost 300 pounds of herb. The virgin had him let and everything, and it was still taken away, And again, the officer said it wasn't clear about what was happening and all of this. But we went to court, it was successful. The court gave us document to go forward to the narcotics, and we retrieved the 300 or the 200 and whatever pound of herbs. And that achievement, of Raga said speed. Now it is a little bit different out there because when the officers them go, they them recognize the letters them know, just that they may call, a Raga member or, the like, and for a confirmation that a letter is legitimate. So it's a little bit easier from the work that Raga has been doing. and it make I and I a little bit more comfortable. Because when a police come at your place, whether you have your right or not, the trauma still exists. You feel like you would have want to run, but if you're not strong enough, I mean, if you and it's difficult sometimes to talk to the ones them. I mean, officer come in a place and him come with arrogant, him come to intimidate you. I mean, them things
Yes.
they still exist. But no, as I said, going forward, Raga make it. We still give thanks to Raga. I mean, many other things. I mean, I don't want to go into too much, but there I can ask if there's anything
Yeah,
to be
man.
clarified. Set speed.
I'm
Many
bringing the eye
thanks.
until the formation of the RMO now, because we want to get into the Webathon and the Hurricane Melissa. How did Canada now hear about RMO, and what is RMO for those who don't know what RMO is all about?
Well, RMO is the Rastafari Mansions and Organization. It consists of now signed, we have a constitution, and the constitution, was signed by 14 mansions, organizations of the Rastafari community. So, in saying so, RMO, well, Canna Cure, you said, oh, Canna Cure Earth. Well, I and I is connected to the community. I and I connected to I and I virgins and sisters. So, everything happened, I and I would have really, get a fullness. But within Raga, because Raga predates the RMO. Raga was created before the name RMO. I and I is there, or was there, or is always there.
And also make it clear that Canna Cure is not just the I. There are other people who are part of Canna Cure.
Rastafari
Yes.
ones, but coming together as one in a
Okay. Okay. Wi-Fi. Give it couple seconds. It was crisp and clear and nice, and then went into that. So, I see you in the comments, Benny Berg, with the definition of commercialization. And again, I would push forward. Not all reggae artists are commercialized. I know the business intimately, and a lot of people think it's whole heap of money in reggae, and that's just not the case. You know what I mean? You really take a lot of sacrifice right now to say you're a reggae artist full time. And the thing, it's a rocky road, It's a rocky road. A few on the top, you can't judge the entire industry by a few. So you have some article ones, make music, spread the message, you know what I mean, and I do what them can within their little way, and I hold them little corner. I will give thanks for them ones there, some of which who have come together for this initiative. No one is getting $1. All of these ones are volunteering their energy. Everybody who's dealing with this is volunteering their energy. The Triple R plan, which hopefully we'll get to talk about, is slated so that there's budget and staff, so people will get paid. And we'll talk about the mapping efforts that are happening, where stipends are being paid for ones to go out and do the work. And this is all part of the step up of Rastafari now, where not everything can be volunteer. Why? It's not sustainable. We can't ask people to leave their job, and they're not bringing anything in and to do the work. That has happened for decades and has left us not in a good place. You know what I mean? The 100% volunteerism. I them know on this platform what I and I words are, the buzzwords for this platform: budget and staff, because we have to get to full-time operation institutions within our community. You cannot build a nation part-time. There's no nation will build part-time, or no nation that build on volunteer work. You go and everybody do it because of the zeal. That don't make no sense. His Majesty never do that. So that is coming from a fantasy. that we don't have to entertain any longer. You know what I mean? We have to build in the economic foundation for our community. And again, commerce is not commercialization. If a man sell out, him sell out. Yeah, we acknowledge that, but we don't want cloudy up the water right now because a man is making money. Now you're looking at this man like he's a sellout because he's not giving him thing for free. You can't run him on him thing, him want charge you for something. Now he's Babylon. That is a backwards mentality, and that is what has put us where we are today, which is not in a strong economic place. So we have to be very clear, family. Economic development is necessary. Read any speech of His Majesty on development and see. And for I, it done this so. Anything you a man come with that fall outside of the teachings of His Majesty, to I is not relevant. To I, and I who are called upon the name Rastafari. Pan African family is a different reasoning. You know, anything else is a different reasoning. We can have that reasoning too. We are Pan African. We can have that reasoning. But for I and I, we follow the teaching of His Majesty straight. Never lead I and I astray. You know what I mean? And it's the right thing. All right. Ras Biah, how you stay? You can hear?
Yes, sir. Can hear loud and clear.
All right. So, but that being said, we're getting to a new era. Wow. I'm hearing some kind of beeping. You hear it?
Yeah, like a choppy water.
Yes. And a beeping. What's that beeping sound? All right, go out and come in again and try again. See if we can get some minutes or some clean connection. Go out, drop the link, and then come forward again and make we see if that can work. We're working on it, family. We're patient. We have Woolly to talk about, and we are giving thanks. We're building together because we have to take time. We picked up a lot of things, false concepts, you know, that don't come from His Majesty, that, you know, meant well, and they were meant to protect I and I from being corrupted. And that is always a very real danger, you know, when you're dealing with money. But we can't fear money, we can't fear economics, which is why the Almighty manifests as nobility. You know what I mean? When you look at Yeshua and that dispensation, you know, he manifests to the working class as a working class man, born in a manger, not a palace. All of these things, that was for that time. Conquer self, you know, Yeshua. Yeshua is about the conquering of self, the Almighty within. You know what I mean? His Majesty come within that order of the Christ, the Christos, you know what I mean, as an Orthodox Christian, for show nation, earth, the whole earth in him hand. So the scale is different. So when we talk about His Majesty, we're talking about world governance, international morality is at stake. I look at the world today. Ras Biah,
Yes, I give thanks.
we'll work with it. We'll work with it. Give us the RMO history.
Yes, I remember now I started because, I mean, one of the reasons, I mean, Raga could not represent as an organization to fully cover everything that the Rastafari community, you know, would require. Things like repatriation, things like reparation, things like, you know, social justice. I mean, things like just representing in IP and these type of things. So I and I, almost the ones in Raga was, you know, the founders of Raga is almost the same set of ones in the RMO, you know, and more, you know. just adding more to that same ones, you know. But these ones, you know, had come together for, you know, just because of how over the years the representation of Rastafari community was needed. And I came together because there was something that the government was doing. The Bank of Jamaica, they wanted to create a thing called Iridex, was an online wallet kind of thing. But Iri is I lingua, so they had to you know, just to have that authorization to use Iri. Well, it was a reason amongst I if we should have allowed that, and this reasoning sparks, you know, what is happening now with the RMO. So I come together, the Bingy House, Bobo Shanti, Canna Cure, Starscape, Root House, Indigenous Village, School of Vision, Sea House of Siba, and many more, you know, came together just for that discussion. And the discussion was the least. It's like the ones that discussed the government, I mean, the Bank of Jamaica wanted to do this, but the discussion was even more than that.
And I want to acknowledge, I want to stick a pin, because I want to acknowledge that it was a Naya Bingy House. It was a Naya Bingy House that called the reasoning. We're after, because the Bank of Jamaica went to the Naya Bingy House, and the Naya Bingy House called all of the ones to the table. So we have to always put that, because there's a propaganda that the RMO was started by the Ministry of Culture, you know. So we have to make it very clear that it was the Bank of Jamaica went to the Naya Bingy House to get a reasoning, and the Naya Bingy House called all of these ones to the table, 12 tribe, Bobo Shanti, everyone, and different organizations came to the table, and ended up that you know, wasn't agreed upon, and the reasoning, as the brethren said, realized that there was way more than this licensing issue that the community had to address, and that these could only be addressed as a collective. And so the RMO was there, and I can say that because I was one of the legal representatives called to the table, along with attorney Marcus Goff, who was responsible for putting the legislation in place that made Bank of Jamaica have to come to the community. So in Jamaica, you cannot just go register something with IRI, with Livity, with Ital. Before you can register anything at our office, this is Marcus Goff, you have to go to the community. And I mean, so that is really the genesis of RMO. And one of the things that is important is that even though the licensing with Bank of Jamaica that didn't go through, is the community determined to work together to come up with a one voice mechanism. You can take it from there, Ras Biah.
Yes, sir. So that was how maybe the RMO came together, and as I even reiterate how it was even more than just the reason about what the Bank of Jamaica wanted to do. Well, in a sense, it never worked out with the Bank of Jamaica, and they went on to use another name. But what was great is that the ones that will stick together now, it's about over 3 years that the ones have been meeting every Tuesday and more, you know, you have side meetings all the time, and you know, it became so intense that, you know, it was amazing to see that ones over time just, you know, one, get used to each other, you know, two, just, you know, putting together systems that
All right. We're getting into the history. We're going to lead this up. There's a method to how we're doing this. We're leading it right up to Hurricane Melissa. because one of the things that Hurricane Melissa exposed is, even though we're doing all of this meeting, is that we were not prepared as a community. We didn't know who our people were. You know, we didn't have good information. We have general information. We don't know where all the Asians are. We don't know where all the children are. If you even check on them, how are they doing? So if somebody's trapped in a house up in the mountain, it could be weeks before one go link them and check for them. We don't have a system in place for crisis management as a immunity. Even our individual organization, there was no mechanism. So Melissa exposed that, and the crisis is not being reported by mainstream media. It's not being reported at all. You know what I mean? So, and even now that the hype of the initial rush and recovery, there's so much suffering, so many people who lost their homes, lost everything, and there's nothing there from a Rastafari perspective. They go to a shelter, they might be serving pork at the shelter, or pigtail and all kind of thing, and you as a Ras, your needs are not being catered to. Most Ras would have loved even just bubble for themselves. They know how to put on a fire and bubble them pots. So, all they need is some lentils, some this, some that. And that is what the RMO has been doing since Hurricane Melissa. We're going to lead up to that, because Ras Biah is one of the key brethren who has been going out with the care packages, also doing the mapping. RMO created a mapping document prior to Hurricane Melissa for its organizations and its members, to start mapping the members. So we have a database and a skills bank of all of the members of the 14 organizations. And that work did not go forward as we had initially anticipated. But that same mapping document was adopted now when Hurricane Melissa came. So that is the document that is being used. The goal was set for at least 100 people mapped by the time of the Webathon. So we'll be able to report on that in the Webathon in terms of where we have reached with the mapping. We have video footage of the mapping taking place. Big up Rastafari Coral Garden Benevolent Society. The work that they're doing, historic. This is quietly being done, but now that we have Rastafari independent non-aligned media, we get to show and highlight it. And now that we have a Rastafari media collective, right now we're compiling all of the footage, so we'll be able to show you the work that's being done. Because a lot of people like to say Rastafari not doing anything. Now we could be doing more, but again, we don't have the capacity, and that is what the storm exposed. And we don't have the capacity because we don't have the economic base. So that is the where we find ourselves, and we are hoping and praying that this Webathon will start to help us to acquire the capital to transform Rastafari, because we've chosen 5 distribution centers. The RMO has chosen 5 distribution centers, and these distribution centers, the vision of the Triple R plan is to develop these centers along modern standards, meaning land get survey, soil testing, architect come out, draft the site plan, engineer come out, do the costing and framing and all of those things. And even if it's being built in phases, all of these lands can be developed, that there's an economic component that's built into the site plan, whether that be a farm, food forest, depending on the size of the land, whether that be a shop, commerce, a farmer's market, whatever the space can accommodate. But there has to be an economic component in all of our centers so that there can be employment. The young people can have jobs where they can go and earn and support families. This is what it's all about now. This is where the movement reach now. So all this kind of fantasy talk about the mystic man in the hills, yes, Every society have the monks and the Bahatawi, but that can't be everybody can't do that. Unity does not mean uniformity. So when a man come try lick down everything because not everybody want to go up on the hills, we don't have time for them man there right now. It's a distraction. We need doctors, nurses, we need teachers, psychologists, we need farmers, holistic herbalists. Have the item been watching the clips with Ras Bobby? We have the whole episode available for the Lion Pride on Patreon. But that Ras Bobby episode, the man go into some herbs and knowledge of plants. I tell you need a notepad. Ras Bobby, for those who don't know, was one of the students of Dr. Sebi. He learned he hosted Dr. Sebi when Dr. Sebi used to live in Dominica. You know what I mean? So he get all of the knowledge and he using it now. He gave I a product, man. I tell you, it work. Powerful. So Rastafari is not one thing. Rastafari manifests itself in every profession, and we have to get out of this. Everybody have to be the same, or you are not Rastafari. I'm not gonna argue with you about what you think, and that don't make no sense. And we don't have one properly funded Rastafari school, and we don't have a properly funded Rastafari university. That don't make no sense. We don't have a Rastafari construction company that is building the vision of Zion that we want to see transform. One of my favorite clips on the internet is when they show you a slum and the people them just come and transform the slum into like a paradise. They clean up the gutter, they do the trash, them put in filter the water, and then what I mean. If you see them on the internet, they will know. But that's the vision of Rastafari in Africa. We turn the slums into gardens. We transform, the ghettos into gardens. This is the vision I have for the continent. This is the vision His Majesty had, with Ethiopia, taking Ethiopia from an Asian feudal society where the people were peasants and rising the people to citizens where they were able to elect their representation. Haile Selassie, I broke the chains in the most ancient land on earth, gave the people a constitution, told them education was the solution. He's the minister of education. Ticker tape parade when he go to the United Nations. That's one of my songs, but that is what the movement is all about. It's not about you sit down and you burn a chalice and you chat all day and criticize people because them don't chat the same way that they I chat. They have the I chat and I have I chat. The ability to agree to disagree is one of the most powerful tools on earth right now. I tell the item. We can agree to disagree. But make we see the works then, How are we advancing the people? How are we making it a better environment for the children coming? When my son graduate or my daughter graduate, can I send her to a Rastafari brethren or business to get a work? These are the questions. This is the vibration. Big up Ras Roots with the $5 contribution. While we wait for Ras Biah to come forward, I don't like how the item have Ras Roots as a lion pride and him lonely. Every episode Ras Roots give us strength. Big up yourself, Ras Roots. But nobody else don't join the brethren. It's like the item just a watch Ras Roots. And I don't feel good about it. If you click the link above the comment section, there's a $sign. You can give a super chat, even $1, $2, but don't make Ras Roots be out here by himself, lonely. I contribute to the vibe. Because we all love that we have our own platform now. I know because I get the messages. The Rastafari family is well pleased that the Lion Voice Network is bringing the reasoning to the people, you know what I mean? And it's a joy for I to do the work, but we need to finance the work. The work does not pay for itself, and we need Lion Pride. So big up the monthly subscribers, but we need more. We still haven't hit 50. Remember, when we hit 50, we will be giving out grants, monthly grants to workers. We're going to vote in our town hall meeting. We have monthly town hall meetings, the monthly subscribers. We reason this platform. Our monthly subscribers help us to pick the topics, our guests. They recommend guests. So this is an interactive platform for the people who see the vision, you know what I mean? So don't leave Ras Roots lonely. Big up yourself, Ras Roots, with the $5 attribution. So we're just appealing for the ones them, every strong, you know what I mean? Ras Kwasi want 10% tithing. No, we just want the item to just give us strength. That's all. My sister hears the cry. Niger Bingi, and she has done that before too. Big up yourself, Niger Bingi. So it's just collective security. Because remember, we have now 60,000 people in the Lion Pride. If everybody would just give $1, we have a thing, because we want to scale this platform. I don't want 10 years from now, I'm sitting down in my living room. I sit down, I talk to the item. 10 years from now, I want to be in a studio with some nice lights and interns, and maybe it's not even I talk. Maybe I have one show and we have other hosts and different things. So the vision we have, my brethren, Benny Berg, is expansive, but the only way we can stay truly independent is with this audience funded. Once we start depend on sponsors and ad dollars alone, and you don't have that strong base, and this is something I teach in my one-on-one consultation. You have to build it on your audience, direct to consumer. Anything you're doing, you know what I mean? You have to build it direct. It hurts, it's painful, it takes time. You know what I mean? I didn't think it would take this much time, but we press through, because it's not there's not two ways to do this. There's only one way, and it's having your audience support the work, or else you become a slave to your investors or the people who are funding you. When you defer the little $5, the one cocoa full basket, you're not putting pressure on any individual. Everybody coming with them $5, them $10. Now you have a model. You know what I mean? You're untouchable. We can say what we want to say. We can move to any platform we want to move. Now we have built a movement. That is the way. So that is it. You know what I mean? And big up yourself, my brethren Clyde, overstand what we are saying. You know what I mean? So there are ones who overstand what we are dealing with, and those are the ones I'm talking to. The rest who are watching, I still have gratitude. Everyone know I'm a brethren who deal with gratitude. So if you just watch, anything you do, I man give thanks, because His Majesty do everything. You know what I mean? So I'm just thankful. You see, as soon as I say His Majesty do everything, my brethren forwarding. So this, I can't write this script. I just have to stay diligent on my journey, and the thing I go manifest. You can hear Ras Biah? Talk. Okay, we don't have no audio. Talk. We're gonna get right into the webathon when we come forward, because we talk. We're not hearing any audio. Talk. All right, go out and come forward again. No problem. I'm entertaining my people. We have reason. We have reason. Go out and come forward and see if it can work. Yes. All of our problems can be solved with a 1-1 cocoa full basket strategy. Collective security is another name for it. His Majesty. I don't know if when we hear His Majesty word song, we think it's simple. You know what I mean? Greeting. All right. Talk. Talk. All right. Come out and come forward in. One cocoa full basket family. Laughing at oneself shows inner strength. I agree. I agree. Half have humor, you know, but we reason things over here because not everyone catch everything. So we just reason it out and we give thanks. Um, one thing ones know about we don't take anything personal. Um, we just reason because we want overstanding. We're building something historic and unique here, and we just want the whole world to know that um, Rastafari is here and we are rising. Come all the way out, Ras Biah, if you can hear I and then join. So disconnect the link and then come forward and see if that clears the line. Because I want the brethren to talk about his work with the hurricane, and the work that has been happening, because that's one thing that I love about the ones them is that they're workers, you know. The RMO is doing work, and that is, I think, one of the main messages I want coming out of this. And give thanks, a lot of that work has been recorded and will be shared for the transparency. But it's something that we can all feel good about and proud about as Rastafari. Because time we win now. We want, you know, yes, we go through the poverty and the suffering and we survive and we go through the struggle, but we want some rising now. We want some victory now, you know, in terms of um the uprising. We want to put poverty one side, um, and live to our true royalness, you know. And I are deserving of that fullness. So I want to be that change that we want to see. We want to be that unification. That's why you see on this platform, there's no mix up. We don't go into no mix up, no blender, because we want to show the positive of Rastafari. Most of my audience here is Africans born on the continent, grow on the continent, and a lot of these ones are just coming into the liberty. So we want to show them the heights of the trad. All right. Greetings. Talk now.
Greetings.
All right.
They are
All
you
right.
clear now?
Yes. All right. We're gonna go straight into Hurricane Melissa and the work that the eye has been doing. What the eye saw, what you experienced during the hurricane, and then some of the work. Lead us up to the work that the eye has been doing on the ground.
Well, give thanks again, give thanks, you know, for the patients are the ones them set speed, you know. Sometimes the thing get rocky, but we do give thanks. And yeah, you know, it was a very detrimental experience even for I. And I was in St. Elizabeth when the hurricane was hitting, and so outside St. Elizabeth, and it passed me about 15 kilometer. It passed, so it passed mostly, you know, Black River side and go across the island. You know, when after the hurricane, I tried to move through the community, and it was totally impossible. Yeah, I mean, you know, light poles were rooted up, and I know the ones them see the videos them of what really happened, but when I take a closer look, and you know, because we are so connected and involved within the community set speed, and I check out and I see a lot of, relief packages going out, other ones, both are different ones, from Kingston and all over, moving through. And I think those are great works, and we give thanks even to some of the artists them who come to assist the people, them, and you could have said, morality within the people of Jamaica. But there was something missing within I look at the whole situation, and it was how the Rastafari ones, was being served. When they go around and say, Rastafari ones needed food, needed, beddings, needed different things where, wasn't available, especially, the dietary needs. It wasn't available, and the devastation, everything was lost. It's like roof, when you go places like past Black River and go, on the coast like you go towards Westmoreland, all of them devastated, every roof gone. You see mothers and babies, pregnant mothers, man, woman, everyone standing on the roadside in a line, waiting for something, And this is on the coast, but when you think about the inland, it was impossible to reach the ones in inland, So, and I did have to make some move towards, serving in that regard, in that capacity as a one way would gather some things that we know so they come into the ones them would need and finding the ones them. So you have, it was like a scattered work. It wasn't not where the RMO did really plan for, but ones who involved with the RMO set speed, everyone just go out and do them thing I do. Them giving and searching for the elders, them searching for the different ones. And we were successful, in that regard, but coming together with reason and the RMO now plan, to go out there, in a unified sense. And I was still on that program, and we go out there and we go places in Montego Bay, we go places in Westmoreland, we go places in Black River, and these different places and finding the ones them and giving the care package. And even till now, and it is now about 3 months after the hurricane, and the ones them maybe although food becomes something that they can survive right now, but one still out there without shelter, one still out there displaced, in such a way that youth can't go to school, that needs medicine. These things are really happening for true. So I experience something I've never experienced before, and I know that once on the international scene might see disasters happening in different lands, but I wasn't prepared for this, which is scary when you see the things where happen to the ones them you see, after the hurricane, rodents start moving around because they're displaced though, and want food to eat, and anything you have is fear them if you don't put it up carefully. People out of electricity, people out of water, these things are still, in limbo. You don't have these things still. A lot of ones out there, because even the other day we go find some Rastafari ones, living under a tree. These things are scary to look at and to think about. So I just, would I want to create this initiative based on a solidarity. I doing this work and the work is accepted within the community because the ones them, see I coming through and I have to do, as Rasquaz had mentioned before, the mapping. So alongside what I is doing as far as care packages is concerned, we try our best now to do the mapping. So we have this mapping document which we had from before, and RMO has, design a mapping document just to find out where members of the community are, where their position, what they're doing, what skills they have, who is in a position where them should I get pension and not get pension, the youths them, who's supposed to go to school and I get best care as far as that is concerned, it's not happening. So RMO set out an initiative from the beginning to do this. And this hurricane now give us the opportunity to even go faster and harder to do this, because if there becomes another disaster, a flood, another hurricane, drought, We need to find the people. We need to know where they are. That's, the help can come towards them, quicker. I mean, and not taking so long that one get degraded, one lose courage, lose confidence in themselves because, life has come to a point where, even to use a bathroom is difficult, I mean, because most of these things are destroyed. So, and I, have to rise up in this time, and I appeal now to even this international Rastafari community set speed just to stand up within solidarity. It's not a big thing, because Rastafari, never usually depend on that, and we are weary of that cause. But this is not begging, this is solidarity. This is how, I and I, the international Rastafari community, and I know that and I benefit from the Rastafari, existence. One's out there, doing the music, one's out there, living the life, living the liberty, just the love of Rastafari. We can walk in any war zone and I want to see a Rastafari. So we're not in that. It's love straight we are dealing with. I mean, so that divine a space within this world to live. I mean, and to live comfortable that, I want can't say Rastafari no derogative things or no war or no killing or no these type of things. Rastafari love, togetherness. And this especially what has happened, with Hurricane, give I the courage to unite, amongst I and I self, especially I and I who are able to assist in any kind of way. This is the Rastafari community, the real part of it, not just to hear about Rastafari. We are dealing with the ones that was fought for the cause, the ones that were fight for ganja, make ganja could have stand up in Jamaica today, a part of Jamaica, culture within itself. I and I stand up, with I and I liberty, that even things like tourism could have been enhanced because of I and I. I just depend on a reason just now and I hear and I bridging talk about the reggae sun splash, which brought tourists to Jamaica in June. Tourists never used to come to Jamaica before. And these things were the celebration of Rastafari, brought these things to Jamaica and ones are benefiting from these things. So I call upon the international community, both Rastafari supporters of Rastafari, to stand up in solidarity for the community. I mean, RMO now has come together, and I should highlight Raspazi. Some of the works that RMO been doing, and it's not a new work. Doing this work is just a continuation of the works that I and I have been doing. RMO structure is set up in a way where I and I have a administrative department. We have executive department where I and I monitor things that happen within the committees of I and I operation. The committees consist of we have the ganja committee, which is the still raga. We have events committee, that deals with event, within I and I space set speed. We talk about the Ras, we talk about the life that RMO has been doing over time. We have, the different committees, about 5 committees, RMO has that does the work within the community. So this wouldn't be strange. A work like this is just fall in place of I and I just getting I and I community together, finding the ones, mapping them, and it's not just individual mapping, it's family, it's household mapping. And as you say, Raspazi give thanks to the Rastafari Benevolent Society, for initiating this work of mapping. God, the ones that been out there, they've been to different places just to find deep within Jamaica, in the hills of Trelawny, in the hills of Westmoreland, these places to find our brothers and sisters, just to assist them, especially through this time, and just to share, especially the confidence within, I just for the ones that rise up. So yeah, it's a dangerous experience, and I go through seeing the ones them, and I go put it down to suffering. Because I know if we live, we know if we live even if we don't have nothing at all, but there is things existing in this world that I can achieve. So with solidarity, with the ones them we know say, yeah, just look towards the kindness of the item art and stand up for what the item have been, shouting out to the works of the Rastafari community, defending what the creed is: the hungry be fed, the naked clothed, the sick nourished, the aged protected, and infants cared for. That is what we are all about, and this is what solidarity is. So, and I just, naming this out that the ones them can look deeper within themselves to stand up, that I can continue the works of defending the community, rising the community to a level that, ones can be satisfied within life, and stand up within their liberty, said speed. So give thanks. I wouldn't, go no further. Ras was it, I mean, I passed over to the said speed. I give thanks.
No, give thanks for that clarity and the passion. As I said, the Virgin has been going out in the field, um, dealing with the thing I see. Benny Berg is saying, just keep it transparent and show receipts and include poor people in the decision-making process. What would you say to this comment, Ras Biah? Keep it transparent, show receipts, and include poor people in the decision-making process. How would you respond? Okay, Wi-Fi the guy. But there is okay, you come forward with the audio gone. Clear it and come again. Clear it and come again. We deal with it. We don't fear. I'm just asking for a little bit of overtime because we didn't even get to the webathon yet because of the technical difficulties, but we're getting out all of the relevant segments. We got the history, which is important because coming up to this, you have to understand that the webathon is not just materializing. The reason that the RMO could call together 32 organizations is because of the works that they have been doing throughout the time. The Harambe Hall, which is a signature event, that community event on the ground, that has the farmers market, and all of these things are still in development, have to be strengthened. I attended one of the Harambe Halls in Montego Bay, big up Root House, that was the host of that Harambe Hall, Ras Negos, Montego Bay family, them around a Hart Street. And there was one at the Ronnie Williams Center, which was the anniversary. Then the RMO Live event as well. And a lot of work has been done, So the fact that you could have Dark, you could have IDOR, EWF, and let me big up our EWF president. I'm a proud member of Local 12 EWF. I local president is in the comment section, and she drop a big $20. She said she now gonna make Ras Roots feel like say him one can drop $20 attribution. International president, big up yourself every time. She also has been a great strength in this process. EWF has been a great support in the process. CRO, Caribbean Rastafari, big up Bongo Wisely in the Caribbean Rastafari organization, Ras Iroy, the whole CRO family, the RCC, Daddy Bosco, and the whole RCC, the Rastafari Continental. This is just the unity, the level of unity is really unprecedented. Isis.
Yes, I.
Yes, I. We're working it out. We're working it out.
Yes, I give thanks.
I don't know why
Yeah.
you're on the side now, but we're gonna work it out.
I don't know if I think it's on your side.
There you go. There you go. Just leave it right there, so yeah, man.
Yeah.
So talk to us about this webathon now and this entity that is taking place.
Yes, sir. First of all, I just want.
You see our Wi-Fi the guy. Anytime we get too high, you have a brethren named Wi-Fi the guy who always come and try. You know, I used to freestyle as a youth time and get rusty. Anyhow, Mister, I tell you, when the artist time come, they are them in problems, you know, cause right now my artist side feel neglected. But we have to rise up the Rastafari independent non-aligned media. So we have to just, you know, you can't do everything one time. That is what maturity teaches you. And as a creative industry attorney, I realize how important the platforms are, you know, because a lot of time we have these great platforms, but the gatekeepers have no interest in Rastafari, authentic, grassroots Rastafari works, our liberty, our vision. So we needed our own platform. That's why you see our tagline is the time has come for the lions to tell our own story, because we don't want to be a footnote on somebody else's platform. We want an unapologetic Rastafari Pan-African platform, black or black platform. You can come, you can hear what's happening, and anyone who has followed this movement know that we have from the grassroots to the intellectuals, from the farmer to the engineer to everything in between on this platform, you know. That's what's so unique about this platform. And we have Rastafari from all over the world. If you haven't seen our episode with the Kenya Rastafari Society, is right here. We have them thing there. South Africa, we just drop a clip from the Rastoto episode. And all of those will be available in full on Patreon. We're starting to take down some of the lives. We're going to put a catalog on Patreon and just cut it down to some more digestible portions on the regular channel. We see the analytics. A lot of people, after a while, you know, the long form is really for the hardcore ones, them. So we'll have an archive in the Patreon for the Lion Pride on Patreon. You can watch the full episodes, but we'll be releasing the highlights for the general audience and thing. And then sometimes, because of controversial topics, you know, YouTube deal with you funny. So we'll put those behind the Patreon, so we don't have to worry about that part. But yeah, man, we have this great entity that's manifesting unprecedented in the history of Rastafari. It is so powerful to see so many organizations working together. The amplification is out there. And I know that because I'm getting sounds from people who vex them not up on the flyer and these kind of things, and it's not one or two people, you know what I mean, or that they were not included. So that's how you know that the amplification is out there. Now the challenge is the delivery, and ones are working day and night to deliver this event. And it really, again, it's something that I think, not let me not say if, I think when this event happens, it leads us into a new era, because it shows us as Rastafari we can do it. There's no third party ones coming in and producing an event or a festival and then hiring Rastafari people to be a part of it. This is all Rastafari ones coming together to work it out. Will there be mistakes? Of course. It's never been done. But does that stop us from moving forward and making the attempt and pushing forward? Of course not. It can't stop because the time that we're living in, Gideon, um, we're watching anybody who doesn't think that eventually Iran will not be attacked is fooling themselves. And as I said on this very program, when I did a whole episode about the Straits of Hormuz, when that's something they shut down family and they plunge the global economy into the toilet, and you know the cost of driving, you have to think twice before you even gas up your car because of the shenanigans going on in the Middle East. When that time comes, will we as a community be ready, or will we be resilient enough that we can pool our resources and take care of ourselves? Or will we be waiting for the government? Everyone should look up something in the Great Reset and the whole philosophy around the Great Reset. Everyone should know about the smart cities that are coming up. And then ask yourself, what is your role at the table? Are you part of the planning? Do you have power within this new vision of how the world will run? And then ask yourself, what is the solution? The solution is always been and always will be collective security. You know. Um, all right, we have a question here. What type of payment method will be accepted on February 1st? We're working with a streaming platform, Rhythm Media. The link will be available shortly, but I believe all form of electronic payments will be accepted. We're using their payment platform. This is going to be a pay-per-view event, so the link will be released shortly. It's not on Zoom or any of those other platforms. You pay, there'll be a tier for the grassroots that would be maybe like $3, I believe, for the lowest tier. So it's not prohibitive, but there'll be other tiers. There'll be, I think there's a $10 tier, $25, $50, $100, and up to, I think, $500 is the largest tier. So wherever you can, and then there'll be a link in the stream where you can also give additionally if you're so compelled. You know, so some people may come in at $3 just to watch and see what's happening, and then they may want to give more as they see the work and they hear from the ones them. So there'll be options, and the stream will be up after. So even if you can't watch it as it is being aired, as it's coming on, the stream will be up there, so you can always go and give a contribution. We will be working with Dark Diaspora Rastafari Foundation. Dark Foundation. We will be working with Dark Foundation. So the funds will be transferred from the streaming platform system to Dark, which is a 501c3 organization in the United States. Dark and Rastafari Coal Gardens, which is a benevolent society charitable organization in Jamaica, will be the two repositories where the funds will be held. All funds from Jamaica will be held with Coral Gardens. Dark will hold the funds here. Dark will then work with Coral Gardens, transfer the funds down to the Coral Gardens charitable organization to charitable organization. There'll be a financial oversight board that will have different ones on there that will be ensuring that best practices are being used and the transparency is going out there. The Rastafari Media Collective, which I'm a part of, is also responsible for keeping the transparency and making ones know what is happening. So there will be posts about And if you're not following the RMO Jamaica on Instagram, follow them. Posts will be going out about what's happening. The Triple R plan will be made available also so that ones can get an idea of the plan. The plan is going to be rolled out in phases. This is only phase one. So, phase one, the overall vision is 500,000 US. And once the assessments are done of each of the 5 distribution centers, that but 500 US is not going to be enough to develop 5 different centers. So that 500 is just for phase one to get us to the point where we can do the assessments, the plans can be drawn, maybe some structures, temporary structures, and other maybe semi-permanent or permanent structures can be built up. Each distribution center will have its own development plan, and that's part of the Triple R plan is again to bring in the ones them with the competence that all of these centers can have the benefit of some very calculated planning. So that means if there's going to be solar, because all of them need to be equipped to be off the grid, because we saw with Melissa that power can go out and it can go out for months. One of the inspirations for the Triple R plan is the Habesha Kweku Ando Sustainability Institute, which we highlight the item now. I'm a board member of Habesha, and our executive director, Biggie Shan, has been on the platform many times. We have a off the grid 5-acre campus in Ghana, West Africa, which is a model because should a disaster happen, Kazi is able to sustain itself. It has multiple food forests, organic farm. This is the vision we want to see in Jamaica. This is when people see about Rastafari, they think that that is what is there. Closest thing we have, probably School of Vision, Rastafari Indigenous Village have farms and, well, at least agriculture, garden, and vibration. But every Rastafari distribution space should be built with that type of resilience. Also, facilities like cold storage, solar powered cold storage unit on the property so that food can be stored that's grown on the property. What is the economic aspect and programming that each of these properties have in terms of training, skills development, preparing people for repatriation? We say repatriation, where's the active preparation? The Triple R plan envisions building it into the site. So that's the rise. It's relief, phase one, which is happening already on the ground. You heard Ras Biah talking about some of the phase one, the relief. That's the mapping, the care packages that are going out. The mapping and the care packages are being paired so that we're getting the data, so that again, when the money is there, we're not shooting in the dark. We don't know what's happening. That's the transparency. We know it went to XYZ. We know the impact. We know they got this, that. Everything can be accounted for. So that's the approach. And again, this is historic. Never before has Rastafari map itself. And this mapping is not being shared with the government. You know what I mean? In terms of the detailed information is being kept by the RMO in confidence. They are putting together their system of database management, which will not be shared with the government in terms of individuals' information. The benefit though is that when it comes time to negotiate with government, we know we can come with facts and statistics and data. Another initiative that the RMO would like to do with this mapping is we need a directory, skills directory of ones so that we can spend our money amongst each other. This is one of the key things if you're talking about economic development. If I need a plumber, can I find a Rastafari plumber? RMO with this project down the line would be able to have those information. We're doing the same thing as ARC for creatives. If you go to the ARC website, we have a directory online. We're in the information age. All of the theoretical kind of amorphous, vague type, we have to be done with it. We need data. We need economics. We need things that can build touchable. We're moving from the intangible. It's said that the heaven and earth will descend from the heavens onto the earth. In Rastafari, we call our thoughts our heavens. So all of these thoughts and things that we have now, it's time to make them manifest and bring them physical so that we can touch them. We want to go to the Rastafari village, just like you have a Chinatown in every place. Every African country should have them Rastafari villages where you go and it's Ital and it's ivory and it's nice, red, gold, and green, and you know what I mean? And you can buy some top Ital, you can buy some knitted tams and Rastafari belt and knitted shoes and hemp, you know what I mean? All them something that we will talk about a time now that we put it into practice. So it's gonna be a irie vibration. This conference. I don't know what's happening with Ras Biah, sorry, this webathon, but let's go to the comments and hear what the item are saying. Big up Johnny Johnson, our elder. Okay, here comes Ras Biah. And there goes Ras Biah. Here he come again. Eli, Ras Biah. We're not getting any audio from the eye. Isis, we're not getting any audio. We're working it out, family, and give thanks everyone who's watching live. We'll edit this so that it's more bearable for the ones them, and we'll put it back up so it's more seamless. But big up everyone who's going through the live and the patience. You know what I mean? We give thanks for everyone because it just shows. I think we all know what time we're in, and we're circling the wagon as Rastafari Pan-African people. Big up the AES. They tried to assassinate Ibrahim Traore one more time. Was not successful. We win the victory. But again, we have to be vigilant. It's a serious time right now. It really, this is not for the weak, not for the faint. It's really where we're testing to see who is who and what is what. Anybody coming with divisive reasoning right now, we just sidestep them. We don't have time for them. Make them divide themselves. Highly. Even in Hurricane Gilbert in 1988 and others in the USA, FEMA didn't do as much as the churches of the USA. In Hurricane Katrina, so if Rastologists want to mobilize globally, the JA for Melissa, let them. Isis. Ras Biah. Okay, we still we still do have no audio. Talk again. And we're just gonna let Ras Biah seal up and talk about the webathon, and then we're gonna seal up as soon as we get the audio. Again, give thanks for the patience, everyone who is coming through live. When we put this up, we're going to edit it so that we don't have all of these breaks. Big up, hail up Ras Kwasi and Ras Biah. Big up Ras Daniel. Say that is the eye. Big up yourself. Says hope to see the pro artists and orgs lead the way by showing how much they are donating, like grassroots influencers showed the receipts when donating for hurricane victims. Example, rod fishing and colas. And Familiar. Ras Biah,
Yes,
talk.
I.
Okay, we're here in the eye now.
Yeah. Yeah, you know.
Yes, sir, we're here in the eye now.
Alright, we'll come back on. Yes, I give some a whole heap of technical things may I go through now.
Yeah,
Give
man,
thanks
no.
and give thanks to patience, you know. I mean, I don't get for black as much, but you give thanks, you know, for the fullness of the program itself. I just want to shout giving thanks to I team, RMO team, you know, who has been working assiduously, especially now towards the disaster, and you know, how I can just restore and I community set speed. You know, we give thanks to the team of RMO working hard. Give thanks to the adjoining team, the international community, the dark, and all the ones them who come forward in, within the support of the family. Give thanks to the media team, you know, who pledge, you know, for reach out to the world, for I set speed. Yeah, I mean, we do give thanks to the ones them and, you know, be encouraged, our full courage to do this work that I can achieve something great. You know, as I say, Rastafari is working. You know, the king has left a work to do. And it is so great that the king split himself in many different parts that I can represent in each part of you know, the liberty of I. So we do give thanks and, you know, Raskwazi, you know, give thanks to the set speed, you know, for all of the work that they have been doing. They see it up and, you know, I get the work done, you know, sometime, you know, even when little weariness go on amongst the group, they just did it strength the powers and make the thing continue set speed. So we do give thanks to the set. You know, I wish they, you know, the best going forward, you know, within this time. I just want to say so joining on the set speed, and then I have the support, you know, to get the community rallied around and I can show the solidarity of an international community that the support is there. Yeah, I mean, you know, once there are some care packages going out, and if I don't push out in a certain way, they will get what satisfies them. You know, other care packages are just Rasquazi, a whole of different meat and all type of things going out, and products that, you know, don't satisfy the Rastafari. So I need to rise up, you know, and this is what I is doing, and so far so good. You know, accountability, everything we look into very deeply that, you know, we can do the best that I can do. Not saying that there wouldn't be any type of mistake. We don't pray any mistake to make, but, you know, we hope that, you know, everything runs smooth as far as gathering I people in a certain way where, you know, there should be another disaster. You know, we know how to find the ones them quickly. Or, you know, I can just continue the support of I family going through. You know, you know, putting forward this program to not to always reaching out for, you know, this type of support, but, you know, to create a sustainability, you know, within, you know, the nucleus of I existence, you know, within Jamaica Set Speed, going, you know, into the different organizations, the houses, and rising, you know, the liberty, the livelihood, the economic sustainability, you know, the structures. I mean, you know, rising these things. Because the love is there, and the love is always there. You know, I mean, you know, the ones them, you know, have the support amongst each other set speed. But, you know, we really and truly need that international support, and, you know, RMO is an avenue that them can, you know, keep abreast of what RMO is doing. You know, it's almost public amongst I, you know, not public amongst the government, but public amongst the Rastafari family. And there is so many organizations which is joining the solidarity call that, you know, through each of these organizations, there's an understanding of how I, you know, is doing the work and how the work is being done, you know, in different parts. So I is doing, and the item will see and can advise also of any type of, you know, ways where I can make it better. So we do give thanks, and we keep on doing the work. So give thanks to the ones them, and keep on the support up and running. Yes, I give thanks.
Give thanks for the eye, Ras Biah. We didn't get to go as in depth on the Webathon as I wanted to go with the eye, but I think everybody overstand. We're 30 minutes over our timing, so we want to be respectful of everyone's time. I want to just seal up with some words out from the wise of Emperor Haile Selassie I, courtesy of Frontline Books. Our elder Raseku Tafari distribute them. We'll be bringing him forward for January, so stay tuned. This chapter on development, I want to just block. And his mind said, "Glory to word, sound, and power." He said, let us not be too proud to face honestly and frankly the fact that by the standards of modern world, African peoples today are poor. Our poverty need not cover us with shame. We must not be too proud to recognize the fact of Africa's economic situation as it exists today. We must not be cast down or discouraged by the magnitude of the problems we face, for Africa is potentially rich. Our task is to improve the economic lot of all African peoples, to raise them to a standard of living comparable to that enjoyed by most highly developed regions of the world today. This is a task and a challenge which must be met. Improving the economic lot of all Africans touches all of us. All must live for success in this endeavor. The ultimate resource of a nation is its people. Unless the resource is employed for the benefit of the nation, unless the latent good which it represents is exploited to the maximum extent for the common good, the nation will languish, poor in spirit, lacking in achievement. So, this is the word sound of His Majesty. Give us the teaching of His Majesty. We can't go wrong with it. Ras Biah, you hear that? What is your sound, final sound, based on what you heard from His Majesty? And just give us your expectation for the Webathon and what I would like to see moving forward.
I have to stay steadfast, based on the words of His Majesty said speed. And as the king would have said, based on the standards of the world, I would be poor, but I within I self is rich. We are rich with love, we are rich with, togetherness, we are rich with morality. So we have to stay rich, within ourselves, scattered in this Western world. Yeah, so we would have liked the ones them to really and truly, look into brotherhood, and togetherness, or we can have these tools to work with each other, not finding the audacity to blame each other for past things, but looking forward to the future that we can correct ourselves in the movement of developing the community of the Rastafari want. Because there are, younger generation coming forward, which I need to, pass on the baton that they can, come forward with a greater understanding of what's happening in this world. As Raspazi, as the guy said, we need doctors, we need scientists, we need, farmers, we need financiers, we need all these ones, to rise up amongst I that I can even look forward within how repatriation would be possible. If I leave, especially, Jamaica, and not having certain skills to rise up, amongst a nation like Africa right now, which is looking in a direction of leadership within the world, I would have, got left out of the picture. But yes, with this initiative, I putting forward a way, where I can be a part of the leadership of Africa and the rising of the Rastafari community. Yes, I do give thanks, and I expect the Webathon to be successful for I. And we have to remember the Webathon is not just for one day, it is for a continuous process. So what happens on the 1st of February continues on and I is a part of moving forward. Yeah, and it is hoped to be one of the greatest. It is an historic event, where this has never been done before. So we're approaching some territories which has never been approached before. But with support and solidarity as we to make a difference in the outlook of I brothers and sisters, especially in Jamaica, who has been through this disaster. Yes, I need the solidarity support. So what we do give thanks, join on to the Webathon, keep posted and keep abreast of what I is doing. Give thanks. Blessed love the King.
Give thanks, give thanks. Mightyful sound. Dear you up family, we are going to I'm glad that the brethren emphasized that point, that the Webathon is just the beginning. This is the launch of the Triple R plan, the Webathon. So the plan, the overall goal is 500,000 US. Again, that's for the first phase of the plan. We're going to have to reassess once budgets for each center are done by the experts. Also, big up St. Michael's College, who has given a 5-year commitment to help in terms of sourcing some of the professionals. They've already linked us with ones who are doing eco designs, different students. And we'll be getting other academic institutions involved as well. So there's so much happening, and there's so much potential in this moment. Out of the disaster comes the opportunity for change. There comes the opportunity to step up the thing to a level now. Again, the priority for RMO, I can tell the as one of the chairs of one of the RMO subcommittees, the Ital Standard Certification Committee, is Rastafari food sovereignty. The Ital standard is being developed by the RMO under the leadership of the RMO. This was prior to Hurricane Melissa, but now all of the farms impacted with this plan, one of the things is going to be building in that Ital food production into all of these centers. So I can make the item know that is a top priority. We are likely headed toward global food shortages with the way these brethren and sistren in high places are playing with war right now internationally. So food security is paramount. So I just want to emphasize that if you're wondering where RMO head there, what am I gonna do with all of this resource, know that the vision, and big up Dr. Knife, big up Dr. Michelle Emmanuel up at UE, who have been helping to guide the process. The vision is agribusiness, Leonard Howell moving forward to the land and creating value-added products from the Ital Standard. Ras Biah Raga family has been instrumental in, in the field, grassroots. Benny Berg, you talk about grassroots. Ras Biah, one of them man that were really out there with the grassroots. So this is why we have the platform. Ras Biah is not a man with whole heap of interviews. So the fact that him come on Lion Voice will show you what we are dealing with right now is to highlight these ones so that more can be inspired to don't just sit down and critique. We need warriors right now. We need we workforce right now. Planning some work days to help ones go clear their land, plant their land. All of that is in the vision of the Triple R plan. So this is the first episode that we're doing on the Webathon and the Triple R plan, but we're gonna have a lot of content reasoning interviews around the Triple R plan, bringing people to reason about it. So you'll get to hear a lot more about the Triple R plan and the whole vision, along with the other Rastafari media. So I do give thanks. Give thanks for Ras Biah, and just know that the Lion Voice will not stop doing this work. I was called to this work by Kadamari Haile Selassie I. Let me just do something very quick before we seal here, Ras Biah. Just be patient with I.
Open your eyes and wake up now, my people. See what Hurricane Melissa did to my people.
My people, RMO, Rastafari Mansion and Organization in association with Dark, EWF, CRO, RCC, IDOR, Tran, Global Run present a fundraising webinar called Relief, Rebuild and Rise, the Rastafari community in response to Hurricane Melissa devastation of Jamaica. Sunday, February 26, time 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. UK time. This is not to be missed. Featuring Prince Ermiah Sehel Selassie, Dr. Julius Garvey, Sister Carol, Julian Marley, Rocky Dohoney, Empress Sativa, Gramps Morgan, Kabaka Pyramid, Yami Bolo, Muta Baruka, Janine, Spraga Benz, Riza Islam, Priest Kailash, Dr. Bobby Holistic. This is in aid of rebuilding Rastafari, relief, recovery and resilience. As His Majesty say, we must become something we have never been. Greater in spirit, larger in outlook. Most High, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. See you there.
Yes. So the item can see history. That is Ija Star. Go check out his platform. That was his commercial. This is part of the Unity. I feel a joy if you play one of my colleagues in the Rastafari media. He put that together, edited it, all of them there. So it's a unity that's going on, you know what I mean? I feel a joy, say we could have played. We're gonna have a lot more commercials and things. The different media are being put together. So starting from next strong, it's gonna be non-stop. So stay tuned, and we'll be here to bring you all of it. Why? Because the time has come for the Lions to tell our own story. And this is the Lion's Voice.
Greetings, Rastafari, Hail Emperor the King Selassie I, the perfect balance Empress meaning. This is first man for Rastafari Indigenous Village, recognizing, accepting, promoting Lion Voice. Yes, the voice of Rasta speaking about Rastafari, educating Rastafari, preserving, protecting Rastafari. Give thanks.
Aye, Rastafari, mighty.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega, representing for all lions and lionesses. With the Lion's Voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari live it. Hey, the Lion's Voice, Rastafari.
Blessed love, this is Ras Biah representing for the Lion's Voice. Seeing? Yeah, man. Keep it locked right there, sir. On to Zion we go. Lion Voice don't move slow, no. Rastafari rules and reigns, and we're going where the blessings flow. Keep it locked right there, sir. Seeing? Ras Biah said that. Lion's Voice.
I'm Nana Farika. The time has come for the lioness to tell her story from her viewpoint and tell the world who Queen Omega is. This is the Lion's Voice.
Greetings, this is Junior Martin of Bob Marley and the Wailers. The time has come for the lion to tell his story. And we have here the lion voice. So listen in and get nourishment for the stomach and for the head cup. Jah, Rastafari.
Give thanks.
Give thanks and praise every time.
Great honor, great honor.
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it takes the dust. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the lions to tell our own story. This is the Lion's Voice.
It's AWTITUDE representing for Lion's Voice. Yes, massive. This is the time for I and I, the lion them to tell I and I story, our story. Yes, and we reign and rule like this. Reign and rule, yeah. Selassie, I reign and rule. You can't take the lion vibes, people. If you no fool, cause we know Selassie reign and rule. Reign and rule. Selassie, I reign and rule. Queen Omega drop them in the fire, pull from them. No Queen Omega, she reign and rule. Royal Kushite, ancient essence, Emperor Selassie in a majestical presence, flash of all sevens, projecting through I and I events. We sing a song for the king, we bring joy and blessing and understanding, yeah. We hear Jah every day. Reign and rule, yeah. Selassie, I reign and rule. Yes, I lion vibes, Selassie, I reign and rule. Attitude say that Boondocks, Black Organization of Global Diplomats optimizing expressions to the world. Till the world, till the end.
Well, lion voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion voice.